And US President-elect has announced his campaign manager Susie Wiles will serve as his chief of staff at the White House. It is Trump's first major appointment since winning this week's election, entrusting a top position to a political operative who helped him win the election. Wiles will be the first woman to serve as White House chief of staff. Wiles is a long-term Florida-based political strategist and is viewed as trustworthy and has got plaudits for helping to manage Trump's successful run for the presidency. Trump chose Wiles over former House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a California Republican who's close to Trump and has been a frequent visitor to Mar-a-Lago. Trump, in fact, in his victory speech, has referred to Wiles as the Ice Maiden.
Appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden. Come on, Chris. Come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background. Come here, Susie.
And US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has appointed Ambassador Stephen Mull to coordinate the transition to Donald Trump's administration on behalf of the State Department, though the State Department has not yet made contact with the Trump transition team. Spokesperson Matthew Miller said that Blinken intends to use his remaining time in office to make tangible progress on a number of critical issues, including on competition with China, ensuring Ukraine is in the best possible position for success, and bringing an end to the fighting in Lebanon and Gaza.
Over the past 2 days, Secretary Blinken has been meeting with people from across the department to discuss the work ahead of us over the next 74 days between now and January 20th. In those meetings, he has emphasized 2 points. First, the peaceful transfer of power is an essential element of our democracy that is vital to our nation's security. That's why it's so important for us to conduct a smooth, efficient, and professional transition process. The Secretary has appointed Ambassador Stephen Mull, a distinguished member of the State Department family, to coordinate these efforts on behalf of the department. Ambassador Mull will work with the President-elect's team to ensure as successful a transition as possible.
Well, Donald Trump has been choosing his team, with Susie Wiles appointed first woman chief of staff. Now, what's more, Indian Americans like Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard are also being considered for important appointments. DD India's Amritpal Singh tells us more from outside Mar-a-Lago, from where all the buzz has been originating. Go ahead, Amrit.
Oh, Donald Trump is right behind me here at Mar-a-Lago, closeted with his team of strategists to choose his next team or his cabinet major appointments. As you know, President Biden has already invited him to the White House, which he said that he'll be doing that shortly. He hasn't done it as of now. That's almost customary here. The incumbent president invites the president-elect to work with him as a transition team. What happens here is that the president-elect becomes the president only in January next year. There's a whole process of electors being confirmed by the Secretary of States of the states, and then that being sent to the Congress, where the Senate President formally on the 6th of January announces the electors, and the President is chosen and he takes over in January. But during that period, the transition team works closely with the current team. In that sense, Joe Biden has become a lame duck president. He cannot take major decisions without consulting Donald Trump and his team. So the transition team will take over, but he's choosing his team. In a first appointment today, he named Susan Wiles, the first woman chief of staff at the White House. She's a close loyalist of Donald Trump, was his chief campaign manager. The 67-year-old becomes the first woman chief of staff at the White House. There are other appointments being considered. Kash Patel is one of them. He could be, he's being considered, as we hear in media reports and political circles, for the CIA director. There are many names doing rounds for the AG's post or the Attorney General's post, a very important post. We hear Eric Schmidt's name doing rounds. These are, of course, all speculations and unofficial and not announced as of now. The other names doing rounds are Tulsi Gabbard. Elon Musk could head the new Department of Government Efficiency, where he would look at cutting $2 trillion from the federal budget to bring in efficiency into the government. Right now what is happening is there is a lot of jockeying going on to get into Donald Trump's team.
All right, that sounds interesting, and we'll have to see how things shape up. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment. I'm Amritpal Singh from Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Meanwhile, even though Donald Trump is said to become the 47th president of the United States, the final results are yet to come in. Trump has so far secured 301 electoral votes, while Harris has captured 226. A final call is yet to be taken on Arizona. Of the last two where results were declared, Maine went to Democrats, while Nevada was won by the Republicans. Trump has been declared the winner in more than half the 50 U.S. states, including key battlegrounds like Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan and Wisconsin, all of which voted for Democrats in the last election.